I got a flow from the Mexico. Như em đã thấy có bao lời nói không phải sâu trong đầu. Từng ngày you wanna love like Pinocchio. Có những thằng chăm em không thể thấy với đôi mắt của sầu. Okay, let's go. I don't know, baby, why.
Tanyen, Thomas, welcome to the Laughing Stoic Buddha podcast.
Yo, I'm blessed to be here, man. So thank you for having me. And, I hope that we're going to enjoy this time. I don't know what to say left, man, but I'm blessed to be here. This is my first podcast, like I say, my first ever.
I got you
are the
first
one.
boy.
You are the first one, bro. So it's all yours right now.
Yeah, bro.
I hope that in the future we can do more. Maybe I'm gonna do my own podcast and I'm gonna bring you up. So
yeah, man. Yeah.
blessed
Okay.
to
So
be here, man.
first off, I want to honor the moment. Let's put this in the vault. This is Thomas's first podcast, and I've said this to a few other people that I very much envision a future of them being wildly successful, such as yourself. So when you get on Joe Rogan, don't forget that your first podcast episode was with Nick Bibeau on the Laughing Stoic Buddha. All right, don't forget about the little guys.
I always remember this day, man. Like I told my wife, my wife, my family, like, bro, wow, this is my first ever podcast. It's not about interview stuff, right? Because I hate interview as well. But we already have connection. We are just like a friend. We talk. But to be on a podcast and as a guest to discuss what I know and like put myself out there. This is my first time, and I told my wife for 2 days, just like, oh my god, I first got my first podcast episode. It's so fun. I'm so hyped, and I cannot wait what I should do. So yeah, man, like I'm happy to be here, and thank you for like bringing me up and put me out there.
Awesome, bro. Yeah, I'm honored. Let's talk a little bit. Just to reciprocate. I woke up this morning, and in the first 10 seconds, I was like, I'm podcasting with Thomas today. I'm just as juiced, bro. Let's start with how we met in the first place. And I think this speaks to one of your talents. We'll get more into your story, but I'd like to start with Spaces on X. So a lot of my more recent fans are finding me through X, and a lot of the interviews that I've been doing, a lot of the podcasts I've been doing have been with X colleagues, such as yourself. And the first time we met was on a space. And for those that don't know, a Twitter space and now an X space is kind of like a little conference call where anybody can join, that's on the app, anybody in the whole world. One person hosts, they control who can speak and who can't speak. People raise hands, people interact and talk with each other. And as we were just discussing off camera before we started, I didn't even know about this when I started. When I first came to, it was Twitter at the time. I thought I was just going to write, maybe interact with some people, send some direct messages. And then there was this whole other thing, this whole other piece of the app that I didn't even know about, which was Spaces. And for both of us, as we've discussed, it's been the best part of the app. The ability to talk with people, connect, make friends with voices, right? And some Spaces, the one we were on last night, I think went for like 5 hours plus. I don't know. I didn't even listen to the whole thing. I jumped in for like an hour and a half. You jumped in a little after I did. And it's so much fun to be able to connect with people, friends from all around the world, each other. It's just one of the coolest things in my life right now is Spaces on X. I know it's similar for yourself. So let's talk about your journey on X and particularly Spaces. What was it like for you the first couple times you joined some Spaces, you talked with some people, and you started connecting?
Man, it's been a long journey, but it's not a long journey. Actually, just like from September, so almost 2 months now. That is the first time I'm on X. Like I created an account on September 6th. I joined and start writing my first post on X is September 7th. And on the same day, I joined on Spaces where Coda is hosting with the Legacy Builder. They have Greg in there.
I was on that space. I remember the first time you came and talked. Yeah, that's so cool,
yeah,
man. Right on. I've been there from the beginning.
Yeah, that is the first space that I ever been to. And I just like, bro, this is just like Clubhouse. And I already told you this, like I joined Clubhouse in 2020 and it's a great experience for me because I love connecting with people. And through the platform is actually bring more people together through the voice, right? Because like we connect to each other. We cannot just look each other and we understand There is no point. We have to talk. We have to convey our thought, and then we have to translate it through what? Through voice, so that other people can understand our emotion. So when I first go onto that spaces, I don't know anything about X. I don't know ton of things. Like before I have X account or Twitter before, whatever they call. So I using just for business, sharing the products and do anything, and I don't do well because like it's been concentrate more political way. So when I first go on that spaces, I just like jump on, grab a mic, asking because I don't know anything. I just ask because out of my curiosity, and I think that curiosity is the one that help us grow, right? You cannot
Absolutely.
grow without the curious mind. So you need to have a curious to go into something that you interest, and then you figure it out what it's doing, how it's going to benefit you, and how you can grow from it. So I go to the space with the curious mind about like how I can use X to make money,
Mhm.
right? Everybody on this platform go in there, make money. Nobody having fun, right? Example, somebody will doing some memes and want to share memes and stuff. That I don't want to say, but on the Money X or Money Twitter side, people come there. What is the word money? So they will come there to make money. And the first time I go on that, I thinking about like making money from ad share revenue. And I asking them, I ask, all the big creator in the room, I don't care who they are, to be honest. Like we are humans. And okay, you are building something already and you are here to share with people, and my pleasure to be here to acquire your knowledge. But like I don't like being idolized somebody, because
Mhm.
to be honest, we like right now I can idolize somebody, but I don't want to do that. I just want like, I'm being me, and I asking for what I need to know. And if you can help, it means I can trust you. And then like it start building relationship from there. So when I go in that approach, I asking them like, yeah, how should I do with this one? I become genuine with my approach, right? I'm not just come there like an asshole. It's just like, yeah, like you guys should have to take me. It's not like that. Like we go into them, we like being genius. I asking them, and then they share a lot of things like ad share revenue is nothing. You should create your branding. You should doing more connecting, engagement, reply, and then I test everything. I reply people. I don't see much happen. I write posts. I don't see much happen. But when I start like doing more crazy stuff on spaces, and you see my follower right now after 2 months is 600 something. That is all. Oh shit! Sorry, man.
It's all good. Look at that handsome guy.
That is all organic,
Yeah.
right? So 100%, 99% organic,
Yeah.
to be honest. Like it's come from spaces. And when I talk on spaces, people feel me more and then they follow me because who I am, right?
Yeah.
So right now, I think when you see me on the first 2 weeks on Twitter or X, I spending 10 to 12 hours a day just on spaces, like nonstop. I join this space, I talk about monetizations, I talk about algorithm
Yeah.
Q&A, and I jump another space, I talk about like how we can grow, how to write content, and I jump another space, talking shit, having fun, meeting people. So I think like right now people are start catching up because Greg is already talk about spaces a lot, right? So
Mhm.
people start catching up right now, and I see a lot of spaces from Web3, crypto, and outside Money X, outside actually like ghostwriting and stuff, right?
Mhm.
And I joined some of them as well. I learned a lot because I'm into cryptocurrency, into AI. I think that it's gonna become future. The future is gonna be there. Like we cannot change because it's already moved toward that direction, right? So to be concludes, like spaces is underrated right now, and people are need to do it more. The thing is that not about fighting clients, not about making more money, is about connection,
Yeah.
human connection, right? So I when I go on spaces, I talk with from all walk of life, right? I talk with
Yeah.
small creator, I talk with successful entrepreneurship. I talk with people who make 8 figure. I talk with people who make 7 figure. And then the main point is that I can give my opinion out there. And then what I do, I'm waiting for someone to validate
Mhm.
right? That is why I go on spaces most of the time, because I want to give out my thought to the world, and then I see if somebody can validate it to make me better,
Yeah.
right? So yeah, that is how I see it.
Yeah, I love that, man. I love that you led with curiosity, and I think this is something that's so essential for any sort of creator, any businessman, anyone that wants to be a learner for life, a lifelong learner, right? Is you got to be curious. And a lot of us are curious, but I think there's a second piece to the equation, which you have very well, and something that I strive to do as well, is it's curiosity and courage. Having the courage and the confidence in yourself to like admit, I don't know anything about this. Please help me, right? And a lot of people are so scared. I see this in my personal life, where they don't know something and they're so worried to look dumb, right? And so they kind of fake the funk. They sort of pretend the little bit that they do know. And people are smart. We're so good at reading people. We know when somebody's faking, right? We know when somebody's not being totally open and genuine. So it takes a lot of courage to admit when you don't know something, and to humbly ask, like, hey, you're a 7 8 figure successful entrepreneur. I have questions from like level one, like, how do I do this and that? What's your opinion on this and that? I'm thinking about doing this. What do you think about that? And like you said, you either get validation that, oh, you're on the right path, right? You're in stage one and I'm on stage 100. And if you stick with it, if you follow this formula and you work hard, you will get to that point. Or you present it and they go, no, you're completely off. And what's so cool is on X, people are very damn genuine. They will tell you, they will call you out when you're going the wrong way, and they're willing to help. And so I just wanted to share that, the idea of curiosity being key, and having the courage to pursue your curiosity,
Yeah,
to be
can I touch
humble.
on that? Can I touch on
Yes,
that a little
please.
bit?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
JM, listen to this. JM gonna like, oh, this guy touch again. So forget about that. The thing is like,
He likes to touch, man. Touch all you want, bro. This is a touchy
okay,
feely podcast.
so the courage point is the thing is not, for me, and I see in my humble opinion, is that courage is not things that you born with, right?
Yes.
It's have to go through a phases of your life that you building up that courage. And as you know, I share this with you, but like before, I do music before, and I have a videos like going viral after 2 night on Facebook in my Vietnamese community that got over millions view, thousands of share, thousands of like, just 2 night, right? But
Yeah.
people just seeing that videos viral for that specific time, but they don't see before the videos viral. I have to go and I have to rap in front of people. I have to perform in front of people. You know how many times? Over 1,000 times.
Yes.
Like I working at the Pizza Nova store, pizza maker, and I selling pizza slice to all the customers. So when customer coming in, I just I just like, okay, after I serve them, they have to wait for like 1 or 2 minutes for the pizza to warm it up, for the slice to warm it up, right?
Mhm.
So in that opening window, 1 to 2 minutes, what I do, and they sit there, they just, if somebody doing something, I don't say, but if they just waiting and looking around, I start catching their attention right away. That's just 1 or 2 minutes. It's just like elevator pitch, right? So it's the same. So I come in there, I just like, how are you today, man? Like, how are you feeling? Blah blah blah. And then like just conversations, normal conversations, get to know, build a rapport. And then after I feel their vibe, right? I'm not just doing this to everybody. I have to validate them first to see if they are the right prospect for me to start promoting myself. So I've been doing that for over 1,000 times, and more than that. So I talk with them and then I ask them, and then first 1 or 2 is got into a little bit weird situation, bro. Like I don't know what to say, and it's just like it's so funny. People just like, yeah, man. And then after they just answer 1 or 2 questions, they just shut it up right away. I don't know how to open up and move the conversation more,
Mhm.
but the more I do, the more I get a hang of it, and then I start getting the vibe, and then I feeling them, and then I just like, yeah, man. Like, have you ever enjoyed hip hop rap music before? And then they just say A/B question, right? Yes or no. That's it.
Uh-huh.
I move them
Uh-huh.
into the situation when they say yes or they say no. If they say no, then yeah, man. And then I move forward, like, what is the music that the genre that you interest more? And then we start moving conversation, and I back it out. But if they
Mhm.
say yes, then I gotta go like, oh man, like which is the artist that you interest most? And then they say the name and blah blah blah. And then I make them feel that they talk about their, how can I say, their interest, or their,
Their love, their passion. The
yeah,
music
their
is
passion,
very
their passion.
very
Yes,
connected to passion and heart.
yeah.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I trigger that emotion up, and then I go and ask them, oh, so how about you listen to the music? Do you want to listen to my music? Like, and then every single time, bro, when I move to that light, every single time, they're like, bro, are you making music? And I just
Yes.
like, yeah, man, hip hop, rap music. You want to hear? And they just like, yo, bro, show it to me. 90% people saying that, because I
Mhm.
already feel the rapport, I already feel the trust, I already trigger their emotions, and then that has happened when they curious about what I'm doing with the music,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
when I show it to them, they just like they blow their mind away, and they just like, bro, you have talents, you should doing this, doing that, and that is where I validate myself. Like I always say, I throw myself out there to validate myself back. So I
Yeah.
know my things is work. So that's why, like, the courage, that go back to the courage that you say, is that I'm building up over time by doing that over and over and over and over again. So
Yeah.
yeah, I just want to touch on a little bit on that.
Very well put. Two things. One, we did the same thing when we talked. It took a while. We talked for a while. I wasn't getting pizza from you. This was over a Zoom. So we went off about all sorts of things in life and X and the whole deal. And then you slipped in there somewhere that you did hip hop, like towards the end of our 30-minute conversation. And I was sold right away because I already you had did the long pitch on me, and I already love you as a person and loved connecting with you. And I've said this many times, but I was thinking I'm gonna do a special intro to this podcast with a clip from your song, which I've never done before.
Oh man, I'm honest, bro. I'm honest. That's crazy. I'm
Yeah.
honest, to be
Okay.
honest. Yeah, man.
Right
Like,
on. So everyone will already have heard, if they're listening this far, they will already have heard a little minute long clip of your music. I was so pumped, dude. I remember that night talking with you. I was at work late, and uh, we finished talking. I've looked up your music. I was just bumping it there at work. It's so fucking good. You're so talented. Your music really just hits to the core, hits to my heart. And as I mentioned on the space last night, every now and then I'll roll down my windows and drive around Oakland. Oakland's always got rap and hip hop music blasting out of the stereos all over the place. I'm always blasting your music, bro. And I've even gotten looks from people. I've gotten some nods like, damn, who is that? Like, I'm telling you, dude, your music has been permeating the streets of Oakland ever since I found it. So that's one. One is I agree that you're very talented, beautiful music. And then two, talking about this is I just did a podcast with the Journeyman 2 days ago, and we were talking about this exact same idea that courage is not like an inherent skill. Maybe of 1% of people are born with it,
tiny,
very tiny, right?
tiny.
Everybody else, the rest of us, have to work on it. It's about repetition, just like you're saying,
Mm.
over and over and over again, and intentionally choosing to do it. So I want to commend you because there's a huge percentage of people in your exact same shoes that are heating up pizza for a minute or two, and during that time, it's too scary to take the leap to start talking to somebody, to reach out and like you said, your little sales pitch, your little just like trying to connect. Let's see, okay, AB, you into hip hop? You know, oh, you're not? Okay, what kind of music are you into? Just getting those reps and of connecting with people, of talking, and that's how courage. I've heard this many times. Courage is a muscle, something you have to build, and you build it through repetition, through intentionally, learning and developing your process. And so it explains a lot because I wanted to get into a little bit of um, the fact that you're one of the voices on spaces where English is not your first language, right? And that is a whole nother. There's so many people that only speak English, have only spoke English their whole life, and they're still terrified to unmute the mic to request it and speak in front of hundreds of people. And for you, from day one, it seems like I remember that first space that you spoke in. There was a couple hundred people in there. You just went for it, right? And it's very commendable that it's hard enough, as I've mentioned to you. I have a lot of people in my life that they don't speak English as a first language, and they're terrified to like talk to one of my friends because they're afraid they're going to be judged, or they're going to say something wrong. And so I just want to say, like, the amount of resistance when you're in the gym, the more the resistance, the stronger your muscle becomes. You had even more resistance in speaking English in a space in front of hundreds of people, and yet still you had the courage to go for it. And I think that's just completely accelerated your ability to connect with people. And people know genuinely, even if you say something a little bit weird or wrong, or whatever, because you're learning this language, people give you the benefit of the doubt because they hear in your voice the genuineness, the passion, and like you're going for it, man. You're trying to get your point across, and you're so great at it. So if you could speak a little bit to what it's like for you to be speaking in English speaking spaces as your second language, and what the struggle has been like, and what the experience and journey has been like.
Let me see. Like, man, when I living back in my country, bro, I always want to, go study abroad. Right? I want to travel the
Yeah.
world, and I know I'm lucky enough that my mom and dad give me a permissions, and they put me into the English school when I was 6 years old. And before that, 6 years old, from 6 years old until like when I go past high school, I just, I'm not concentrate in the reading. I hate writing, man. I hate
Yeah.
to be that I hate because grammar, punctuations, commas, I don't know shit about that.
Too
I
many
have to
rules.
like, yeah, I don't know about that, but I really interest about speaking and listening, right? I don't know why, because like when I was a kid, I watching Disney channels, Cartoon Networks, I watched Star movie, I watched HBO, and I watch a lot of movie. And the thing is that it's opened my perspective, it's opened my mind that people on the different side of the world, how they live, how they how they talk to each other, how they behave. So everything you see me doing right now is the things that I build over the time by watching movie, by playing videos game, by reading the videos game, video games that have story. I learned like how the word going through and how they say it. So for me to go into a place that's speaking English, I feel comfortable, man. I feel like right now, if I speak with somebody in Vietnamese, it just feel weird for me, to be honest. I don't know why, but because like I'm too comfortable when I
Yeah.
speak English with like other people, so that when I go back to Vietnamese, it's kind of like confuse me when I try to use the word, because when we speak Vietnamese, it's different. We have to make sure that we say the right word, or other people are gonna think differently, right? So I'm sorry if you hear my daughter crying
Yeah, I
behind
hear
me,
it. It's so
and she
cute.
she just waking up. So
Oh,
anyway, like uh, I'm always want to be a part of a whole world, like, and then English is a language that we can connect with almost everybody around the world. They
yes.
speaking English right now. So the struggle for me right now is still the same, man. Like pronunciations, vocabulary. But by talking with you guys on spaces, and by writing more nowadays, I love writing right now. So so
Love it,
my
man.
writing is practice my mind, is practice my muscle on here, so
Yes.
that I can know which word I should use. And if you read my writing, a lot of people, they read my writing, they told me is that they can hear how I say it in the
Yes.
mind, because after they talk with me and they know how I say, and when they read my word, it's the same how I say it. So I'm writing like how I say it, right?
Yeah.
So the problem I have right now is that I try to better my pronunciations so that it's easier for me to convey my thought, and it's easier for me to translate what I want to say, what I want every other people to understand, because sometimes I say something on my mind, but other people, they think different,
Yeah. Of
right?
course.
So that is the one
Yes.
I need to work on it. So I gotta take some of the English courses again. But like it's just an exercise to keep me, going. And the
Yeah.
more I do it, the better. And I start like listening to, some of the topic that I interest, like marketing, cryptocurrency, music, personal branding, personal development. So I can pick some vocabulary from it and how people say when they use the words so that I can, replicate it. And after that, I can make it in my own way to put it out to the world. So yeah, I hope I'm not rambling enough.
No, no, no. You really hit it. God, I had a lot of thoughts as you were sharing that. First off, I love that you're starting to fall in love with writing, and I wanted to say one of the best compliments I can receive, and one of the best compliments I can give, is exactly that. That your voice shines through the written word, and it really does. I just read a piece that you wrote a few days ago. I reposted it. It was beautiful. And it's something that I think, since we're limited on time, it'd be a good way to close this out, because
Mhm.
it's very in line with my philosophy, with the Laughing Stoic Buddha idea in general. You wrote a piece about the fact that life is short, and that um, we don't know how long we have. And this is something memento mori is a Stoic idea. I don't know if you've heard that phrase before. It's Latin. It means remember that you will die. It's something
Mm.
that I think about every single day. And I do, some people call me crazy, I talk about it often. I think every single day, if today was my last day, if I'm going to sleep tonight and I know that I'm going to pass away, how would I live this day? And it makes me incredibly intentional and present with how every interaction that I have. This could be the last time I ever get to talk to Thomas, this beautiful soul, this guy that I love and cherish every moment that we get to talk to each other. And if this is the last time, like, if my mind's preoccupied, if I'm not bringing the most genuine, real presence that I can when I'm talking to him, then I wasted it, because it's the last time, right? Now, chances are it won't be the last time. Chances are we both will live a long, healthy life and have a long friendship together. But um, it makes it so much more poignant, so much more precious when you frame your mind in that way, right? Of always remembering that life is short. Every single interaction matters. Every single day, every single moment matters. You wrote a really nice piece about this just recently. So it makes me think of two things. One, can you talk a little bit about how you think about life and death, and the fact that we have this one life that's temporary, and uh, just how that philosophy, sort of how you think about that in your day-to-day life? And then I got to bring up family and kids. We just heard your daughter crying there in the background, and I know family's very important to you. My daughters and my family is very important to me. So let's talk a little bit about that, about what your family means to you, and how you see this as sort of your vision for your life going forward.
Yeah, so I'm never thinking about like life serious for from 6 years ago. Like when I go into my lowest of the low, like I have to eat, only soup and tom yum
Been
for
there,
sauce
been
for
there.
2 weeks. No
Yep.
money in the bank, nothing. I'm working 7 days a week, but I have to wait for the pay bi-weekly, right? So I just have only the soup, the plain soup that I eat every single meal for 2 weeks. And that is when like I'm thinking like, bro, like why should I do this? But before that, I just, I enjoy life. Before that, I don't give a shit. I just like I
Mhm.
gonna go do whatever I want. I gonna do whatever I love. I play basketball, I play videos game, I do everything that I want to do. But after the certain point happened, I have to think is like, man, I cannot live in this lifestyle for the next 40 years. And I think it like, how about I have family? And right now I have family, right? So how about I have family? And if I keep doing that, what happened to my children? What happened to my wife? And moving forward, what happens to the next generations, right? So that
Beautiful.
is when I shift my mind and I start become better persons. I still procrastinate, to be honest. I still procrastinate. I still, sleeping late. I not just like, some guy going to Twitter and say like, yeah, I sleep at certain point of time. I wake up early bird get the worm. I don't buy that, right? I just like it's me. I still trying to be better every single day, 1% every single day.
Yes.
And right now I'm feeling I'm much better right now, man. Like my mind is, more concise of what I need to do. Even though I still procrastinate, I still try to work on that. But for life, I think like right now, what I want to do is that I want to leave a better place for my daughter, my next generation to grow,
Mm,
right? Because I have a daughter now. So I think it's a different way than before. And if somebody listens to this podcast, is they have to know like in a different phase of your life, you're gonna have a different perspective. You are gonna have a different philosophy. You are gonna have a different idea. You have a different goal, right? So, but the main goals of me in my whole life is that I be here. I try to help as much as I can with what I know, and because I'm obsessed with knowledge, so I want to go out and learn about everything that I want to know, so that I can teach other people who in the same situation like me
yeah.
before, so that they can move forward from there and get out of it as fast as they can, right? So you
Yeah.
don't spend the time in there. Go back to the family side of things is that, man, like families is a different side of things. Like life for me is just playing a game. It's a real game.
Mm-hmm.
You have only one life.
Mm-hmm.
So every decision is kind of like after a period of time that I've been going through tough time. I think it's like every single decision is gonna be the one that I have to make decision. One is to build it up, or you just stay in there. And when you stay in there, it means you keep going down lower, lower, lower,
Of
right?
course. Yeah.
So right now, my perspective on family is that I do my best to provide the environment for my daughter to grow, to become a better person, to so that in the future, I say it on spaces as well. I say it's like when I raise a kid, I'm not raise only one kid. I raise the whole generation behind me.
I love that, man.
Right? You think it right?
Great,
So
great perspective. Yes.
think about it. It's like you raise only one kid, but that kid, when it's growing up, going out to life, they have an impact on the different other people' life.
Yes.
There's words, they speak, their word, their thought, their actions is gonna affect everything,
Yeah.
every single thing. So example, like if I'm not meeting you, we don't have any podcast right now, but right? So I'm meeting you, I have a podcast. And then I
Yeah.
say in this, when my kid listening back to this podcast, then she know what happened. And if she going out, she having some impact on different people, and it's helped them to be better. And then that person's help another people to be better. So you see that the change right there.
Of course.
It's mean that you build a whole next generation. You not just build only one life, right?
Yeah.
So that is what I see right now. Is that everything I taught my kid? It's mean that I put it back to the whole generation. Not only one generation. It's gonna be 2, 3, 4 generations from now. They're gonna hear me. They're gonna hear my thought. They're gonna know what I do. And then like I see my kid is asked something that validate myself as well. Because like if I raise a good kid, it's mean I do it good. And if my kid is just like so fucked up and do some stupid thing that affect and harm people, it's
Yeah.
mean that it's gonna be some wrong ways from me to raising the kid. So that's why that is how I seeing it right now. That is my perspective on family and kid right now. So I still doing my best, man. I'm not trying to force my kid to be good. I just like I always say this, like just be you, do you, and for you. So that's it,
Yeah.
man. Like that's
Yeah.
my perspective.
Dude, that was really, really beautiful, dude. That was right out of my own heart. You articulated exactly the way that in different words than I would have, but maybe even better, exactly the way that I perceive my own life and my own role as a father and the work that I'm doing. One, you talked about how every single day from your lowest point, from eating ramen and not having any money in the bank and just
Oh,
trying to
not
survive.
even ramen, bro. It's just a blank soup. You. If I have ramen, then I gotta be
We're
better,
winning.
bro.
You're winning. You're winning. You got some noodles in there, bro. This is just soup, blank
It's
soup,
just soup. And then
water.
I have a tom yum sauce that I bought
Yes.
like 2 months. I
Uh-huh.
just every
A little
single day
bit.
I put that little thing is there to
I know
create
the
a taste.
sauce. I know
And
the
then
sauce,
I just drink the soup for 2 weeks. And I just
bro.
like, bro.
Hey, anybody out there that's listening to this podcast, if you think you got it bad, you could be eating a little bit of tom yum sauce in hot water right
Yeah,
now.
and
All right.
hot water, and then you just like mix it up, and then you drink it, and it still it still creates some taste, bro. Like,
Sorry, bro. I don't know why that
bro,
got me. That got me.
don't worry, man. Like for me, in that period of time, I see me like as the lowest point. But bro, I've been from my country, Vietnam, right? We have
Yeah.
like just developing country. So I going through, I met, I talk, I help a lot of people that's worse situation than me.
Of
They don't
course.
have anything to eat. They don't have nothing, right?
Yep.
They have to go and dig the garbage out to get
Yep.
the food, right? So I
Yep.
see that. And my family is going through the world, and then they going through some crazy shit where they don't have things to eat. They have, the wooden fish, the figure, like the wooden toy fish, right? They have
Mhm.
to dip into the fish sauce, and then they
Yeah.
just they're not eating, they just taste it, and then
Yeah.
they eat with the white rice. So listen to that story. I just like,
Yeah.
bro, we are in the better situation right now. So
We are,
even
man.
though it's a low for me, but I'm still feel grateful for that. But yeah.
Yeah. No, it's a beautiful perspective and it's important. It's something I feel blessed that I've met people. I've never seen it. I've never gone to any of these poor countries myself, but I've talked to people that are sharing stories like you're sharing, and it always tells me right away, like, dude, don't be a bitch. You have nothing to complain about. You got food in the fridge, right? I know people that are North Korean refugees that have escaped from North Korea, and there's perspectives we can't even understand. Like they'll say, "I've never felt the sensation of being full. I didn't know like you could eat enough to stop eating and say, okay, I'm full. I'm not you. If you had food, whatever you had, you'd eat it, right? Because you didn't know when the next food was coming." And a lot of Young Mi Park, I don't know if you've heard of her. She's a famous North Korean refugee. She's been on Joe Rogan and a lot of big podcasts. She talked about when she escaped at 13, she thought she could eat a whole mountain worth of food. She didn't know that there was a limit because she had never felt full, right? And the first time that she ate, I think it was apples. She ate like 40 apples and threw up. And she was like, "Oh, you can actually eat too much." Like that's really the kind of life that there's millions of people in the world, and not to mention throughout history, but today, people in the world that are starving, that are don't have enough to eat, that are sticking a wooden fish into some fish sauce and eating some rice, like that's happening, right? That are eating tom yum paste in some hot water. So first off, take a moment today, if you're listening to this, if you're watching this, to appreciate how damn good you have it. And on top of that, this is something why I have so many friends in my life that are immigrants and refugees from other countries. And something I love about them that I try to infuse in my own life and infuse in my daughters is, one, the appreciation that we live in a place where we have food, we have opportunity, we have a chance to grow and to be better, which I hear so much in you sharing about your vision for your own life and for your family. And then on top of it, I feel this responsibility that because you have these options, you have a responsibility to do the most you can with it, to not, fuck it off through fear or through avoidance, but actually you've been given the chance to make something great with your life, to give a better life to your family, to the next generation, so they can do the same and give a better life to their. Like I love your whole spiel on like every choice that we make echoes through generations, right? And what that does is I think meaning is so important. I think if somebody is depressed or not living a good life, it's because they're lacking meaning. They don't see why their actions matter. They don't see the meaning behind their actions. But if you can get the perspective that every single thing you do, every word you speak, right? Everything that you create can echo through millions and millions. It can reach every corner of the globe, right? This podcast, the words you're speaking, the posts that we write, the spaces that we're on is echoing out into the world, into all corners of anyone that's got an internet connection. And then these people are then hopefully acting a little bit more meaningful and purposeful towards the people in their life, people that maybe don't listen to podcasts or read or do spaces, but they're just a little bit better in their interactions with the many people in their network, and that just spreads out like a loving virus, like a positive, meaningful virus. That's good, right? And it's so much better than the alternative. That's why our words are powerful, man. They have so much juice behind them, which is why it's important to be as intentional, loving, and authentic as possible with the words that we use. And
Yeah,
something that
I
you
think we touched.
definitely do.
Yeah, I think we touched on this point before, like how we write, and the post
Yeah.
is the things that we want to share to other people. Is actually like help them in the way that like nobody else can help, right? They just read through the post and they know, and then they feel it, they feel better,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So, and I
Yes.
always say that is your words is your power. Choose to use your powers wisely. It's a
Oh, bro. Beautiful.
free weapon, free gift. You can use it to start a war, or you can use it to help to create a better world, right? So
Yes.
two sides of the coin of what we have right now, what matters. That's it.
Yes. Yes. Beautiful, man. Beautiful. Dude, we got so much more to cover, but unfortunately, I'm short on time. And
No
I know
worry,
you
man.
you got a beautiful day ahead of you with your family, and I want you to enjoy that. We got to do a part two, dude, for real. I've got a whole list of more things to dive into, but we packed a lot of value and love and power into this short podcast already. You're a natural, dude. I'm so honored to have you for your first podcast. I'm going to close with this because we had some good laughs in there, especially when you're talking about your soup. But because this is the Laughing Stoic Buddha, I steal this from my favorite podcaster, Pete Holmes, a comedian. He likes to end the show with the guest giving a story of a time that they laughed really, really hard. So I'm going to pose the question to you. And I've heard you laugh very hard on spaces. Maybe it's on space, maybe it's in your personal life. Can you recall, it could be something recent, something when you were younger, recall a story of a time that you laughed really hard to tears? And it doesn't have to be a great story. It just has to be an example so we can share in the love of Thomas's laughter. Does
Hmm.
anything come to mind?
Yo, I laugh almost my whole life. Like
Same, bro. Same.
like even my friend they call me comedians because like by look at my face and the way I react, they start laughing. So but the thing is like the meaning, the story and the meaning behind a laugh, I think is when I know that I got approved for my
Mm.
visa to actually fly to Canada. That is when I laugh in tear. I laugh in tear. Like when I
Oh.
first received, a notifications from the government saying that I already approved for the visa. And in that time, I living in a like my family, they loaned the house to actually give me money for me to pay for my tuition in
Mm.
Canada and then pay for my stuff so that I can fly here. So we moving back to the place that just around I think 200 to 300 square foot that includes everything like washing like it's a small place. Like my room right now is like my room right now is around 3 or 4. I don't know how to measure in this square foot, but it's
Yeah.
pretty small,
Yeah.
pretty small. Like, and then like I sit in the corner. I have a picture I'm gonna share to you. So it's I sit in the corner under the ladder, and
Yeah.
I'm playing the games right there. And then when I receive notification, I just leave the game right there. The Dota 2, I playing Dota 2, so I leave it there. I go and I talk to my dad, my mom. I just like, we got approved, and then I just laugh like crazy. I just laugh and
Oh.
crying. It's a happiness
Yeah.
moment that I can feel when I watched the movie called Pursuits of Happiness by I think
Will
um,
Smith. Yeah, yeah,
Will
yeah. I know the
Smith.
movie.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
by the end of the movie, when he got approved and he just going out to the street and he just feel happy, that is the moment that I feel right there. And I
Oh.
just like, bro, like finally I dreaming to go abroad for 18 years. I leaving. I go to airport. I say goodbye to a lot of my friends who study approach. Every time I go to the airport, I just like, man, I wish one day I can sit on the plane and fly and study approach. And the time that I go into Canada is my first time sitting on the plane. It's my first time going out of the country. So that is all my first. So that's just the laugh right there. And the story that it's actually changed my whole life, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like that's why
Yeah.
I'm here. That's why I'm here with you. And I'm honored to be on the podcast. And we are having fun. Like I'm totally down for part two where we just sit down, we just talk life, we talk about our own philosophy, our
Yeah.
own ways of looking at life. So I'm really interested in that. My wife's just coming in, so it's the time, it's the time right there.
Hi, Wave. Okay, yeah, it's time to go enjoy your day, bro. Beautiful, beautiful story, dude. I felt every moment of that. I don't know if you've written about that, but you should. You should write about that moment
Oh,
of
I
getting the
already
visit.
I already have
Okay,
in my draft, man. Like my draft
okay.
have posts that
Yeah,
already ready for my story. I have a lot of story I want to share, and I
yeah.
hope that that story can help other people when they are in need. So
I know it
that's it.
can. I know it can, man. Beautiful, beautiful story. Man, just every moment of this was just packed with joy and love and value, bro. Thank you. Beautiful, beautiful podcast. Looking forward to doing another one with you. Let's close with this. Where can people find you? What are you working on? Where can they find your writing? Where can they join your spaces? Where can they find your music? Promote all your stuff.
Okay, so they can, if they're interested in my music, I'm gonna drop a new song next month for my vow. Just dropping out there for whatever, so that I can create a new things, right? So they can go to SoundCloud, they can look it up at Val. So VAL. As Valentino, I'm born in February 14th in Valentine Day, so I took that three word VAL, and then
Oh,
they can search. Beside that, the name of the song's Too Late. So the song Too Late is the one that I kind of like interest because the the whole process of creating that one, no swear word, we create that one, like it's pretty nice. So they can look up into that. Right now I'm not active on, any social platform. I just only active on X. So everybody can look it up for my X at Davison's Journey. So Davison Journey. So they can see me there. I'm thinking to got back into my photography and videography hobby so that I'm gonna share more of my photos, videos that I do, and they're gonna have a story in there. And because I always love making movies, so I gotta get into that as well to see how it's
nice.
go. So
Yeah.
and right now I'm just more got into my hobby, my interest, so that I can create something that meaningful and help other people. So that is where they can figure it out what I
Awesome, man.
am.
Go find his music. Go follow him on X. I'm so excited to see your photography and your videos coming up. Your writing's already amazing, and go join his spaces if you can, for sure, because Thomas's spaces are always magic.
Thank you, man.
Thank you so much, brother, for your time, and I'm so looking forward to part two. Lots of love. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. If you enjoyed this conversation, please hit the like button. If you want to watch more podcasts like this in the future, subscribe and hit the notification to be notified when they come up. If you want to keep up with me, I am on Twitter now every day at Write with a W already. Link to that will be in the description. If you want to check out my writing, I publish a newsletter every Friday through Substack. Link to that will also be in the description. I love you guys, and let's keep doing this together. Peace.